Welcome to Stoner Watch. This is my review for A Quiet Place Day 1. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, click on that bell so you can be notified for future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, after checking out A Quiet Place Day 1 in the theaters opening weekend, I gotta say, this movie was pretty damn good. Now, I'll be quite honest with you, I did not see the first two films, so I went in this thing without really knowing what much was going on except for what I saw in the trailers, because I had thought this movie was about something else. I thought it was like about zombies and stuff like that, and I'm not really into that type of stuff. But then when I saw the trailer for this and I realized it was all about like an alien invasion, I'm all over that stuff, you know what I mean? So this was pretty damn good. Now, I think it didn't really hurt me not seeing those other two movies, considering this is a prequel to that, you know what I mean? So, you know, day one, it kind of goes without saying, right? So, and I thought this was pretty good. I thought the action was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting how, you know, kind of keep quiet and just the slightest noise would let the aliens know where you're at and stuff like that. And you just like, you watch this thing and you're kind of like, you hear them make a small noise. You're like, oh man, like looking for an alien. We see if it's going to pop out of somewhere and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty damn freaky. I'd be dead. I mean, I'm a drummer. I don't know what quiet means. I'd have been gone in like the first 30 seconds. I fully admit it, I don't know how to be quiet. So anyway, again, I thought this movie was pretty damn good. Now, it got so quiet in my showing for this thing, what have you. I think the music from the movie that was next door to us was starting to bleed into the movie, because like the characters were just like sitting there trying to catch their breath after running from the aliens and stuff like that, you know. And the next thing you know, you started hearing this music. Now, maybe it was part of the movie. I actually don't know. I don't think they were actually listening to music at that point, because again, they were trying to be quiet, right? Not make any noise. And that's, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like loud, but you could definitely hear it. So I think that was coming in from next door from me in another movie, but I don't know what was playing next door, so I can't tell. I mean, maybe that's just me. Now, this movie was written and directed by Michael Sarnoski, based on a story that he conceived with John Krasinski. And it's the third film in the Quiet Place film series, and it serves as a spin-off and a prequel. I think he did a pretty damn good job with this movie, but I gotta be honest with you, I looked at his filmography and there was nothing on there that I had any knowledge of. So the only thing I had to judge on is what he did in this movie. And I think he did a pretty damn good job. I mean, they call it like a horror movie, but I got more like a thriller suspense like type thing out of it. There was like some horror elements to this movie, but not where it wasn't like a straight up slasher movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was aliens, so I can deal with that stuff, what have you. So that didn't bother me whatsoever. And I thought this movie was pretty good. I mean, I liked the characters and stuff like that, and like it. Some like the jump scares were pretty damn freaky. Now, as of this recording, A Quiet Place Day 1 is sitting with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 86%, with 198 top critics reporting in. Now, over the audience side, it's sitting with a score of 74%, with 1,000 plus fans telling you what they think. Now, the audience and the critics are pretty much almost on the same page on how they feel about this movie. I mean, there was a lot of people in my theater when I went to go see this. I mean, it wasn't packed, but there was a lot more than normal, you know. And I go early in the morning and stuff like that, so I still haven't really seen like this theater like packed. There was more people to see Guardians 3 than there was to see this movie, but that's a topic for a whole nother video, and that made a lot more money. However, there still was a lot of people to see this movie, and it kind of reflects at the box office. Now, A Quiet Place did manage to bring in $52.2 million in its domestic haul for the weekend, but it did not manage to get number one at the box office. Pixar's juggernaut Inside Out 2 takes number one again for the third week in a row, and it crossed over to the $1 billion mark this weekend, so that's pretty amazing. It was like it's like breaking records left and right. That is a pretty damn good movie. I highly recommend watching that. That was an awesome movie. I loved it. However, now the synopsis of this movie pretty much said that all the meteorites landed on the island of Manhattan, and like the government and stuff like that was taking out the bridges to keep the aliens on the island because they couldn't swim. Now, again, I haven't seen the other two movies, but don't those take place somewhere else other than New York? So eventually the aliens figure out how to get off the island, right? Or was there more that crash landed somewhere else? I mean, again, I'm just going by what the synopsis was for. I don't know. That part was a little confusing. Eventually they do get off the island, I think, but then I got to go see what the other two movies were all about. Maybe they are in the same location. I don't know. However, I just heard today that Paramount said that this movie is already going to be available for you to watch digitally at the end of the month. Why the hell are they doing that? I mean, you're totally taking the legs out of your movie. You're telling everybody, don't bother going to see it in the theater. You don't need to see it in the theater. Just wait a couple weeks. and you can see it at home. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not saying every single movie needs to be seen in a theater. I mean, some movies are better off in the big screen more than others. And some are like, you can watch it and go, man, I could have watched this at home and it would have been all right. You know what I'm saying? But this movie would actually benefit from being seen on the big screen because of all the stuff that's going on with the aliens but that's just me. I don't know. I don't think that was a good idea for Paramount to do that. I think they just totally cut the legs out from underneath this thing because now everybody's going to say, why bother? You know what I mean? All the movies nowadays are already front end loaded as it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a total mistake. Now, as of this recording, if you count in the international box office, was roughly about $45.5 million, it brings their total opening weekend haul to $97.7 million, which is pretty damn good because their budget was only $67 million, so they already made back their production budget in a little bit some. But with that announcement, with the digital release in like 3 weeks, man, good luck making any more money off of that. People are going to hear that and they're just not going to go see that in the theater. That was not a good thing to do. I mean, they were doing good and that was just stupid. I'm not a studio, so who am I? I'm just a YouTuber talking about movies. Anyway, I thought this movie was good. I highly recommend. If you haven't seen the first two movies, I wouldn't worry about it because, again, this is a prequel to that, so you're not going to be lost. You know what I'm saying? It might want to make you watch those other two movies, right? So I don't know, man. Normally, I would say we'd have to see the performance of this thing in week 2 to see whether or not if it has any legs or not. But after that digital release announcement, I doubt there's going to be any. If it does halfway decent in the second weekend, I'm going to be surprised after that announcement. Maybe that's just me. I mean, I thought the cast in this was pretty damn good. Lupita Nyong'o, I thought she did an awesome job in this movie. I was so heartbroken when she decided that, that she was going to sacrifice herself. But then again, her character was like terminally ill with cancer, so she probably wasn't going to make it anyway because they had to keep getting her medicine and stuff like that. So, but I felt that. I thought it was pretty, something else. Now, Joseph Quinn, I haven't seen Stranger Things. The only thing I've seen so far is it was a video of him when he was like supposedly playing Master of Puppets and stuff like that. That's the only part of Stranger Things I've ever actually seen. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I just haven't watched the show, and I know that's where he's from. No, and then we got Djimon Hounsou. He was awesome in this thing. I mean, he wasn't in it a lot, but when he did an awesome job. Now, Alex Wolff, he was like the counselor dude and stuff like that pretty much got her stuck on that island to begin with. So, and he was trying to be nice, you know what I'm saying? And he did make it anyway, spoilers. I don't know. I thought this movie was pretty damn good. Did you get a chance to go out and check out A Quiet Place Day 1 in the theaters? Let me know in the comments down below. Would you think this movie was any good? Let me know in the comments down below. And then have you seen the other two films? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I'm going to have to go check them out now because after watching this, I'm kind of curious to see where those pick up with the story, right? So, what you think in the comments down below.